there, welcome to my kitchen. Randy and I want to welcome you to our channel. Today we're going to make chicken breast with mushrooms and tarragon on the stove, 20 minutes done. When your rice is done, your dinner's done, and you can put it on the table. So this is definitely a weeknight meal. Very minimal ingredients, very minimal putting it together. And let's get started because this one is easy. The first thing we're going to do is get the rice started because that actually is going to be what takes the longest. So let's get that started. We need a high flame to start with. I'm going to set that pot on there. Take the lid off. I got 1 cup of rice going in. I got 2 cups of water, or 2 1/4 cups of water. That's 2 cups of water. And then about that much. It's less than 1/4 actually. Then I'm going to put just a little bit of salt in there. Don't ask me how much. I just put it. Put the lid on it and let it come to a boil. Now let's get to the ingredients for your chicken breast with tarragon. All right, to start off with, I have 2 chicken breasts. Need some olive oil, a couple of cans of mushrooms, or if you have fresh mushrooms, it would be so much better. But I don't have any, so we're going to use the can. We're going to need a large shallot, salt, pepper, tarragon, a little bit of chicken broth, and some flour. Can't get more minimal than that. All right, now what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and cut this chicken long ways and thin it out because that is just way too thick to cook. So we're just going to go right straight down the center and try to make them as even as possible. Close to making them the same as possible so that they cook evenly. All right, now we're going to wipe this off. Now we're going to cut that shallot. All right, we're going to take that outer off. We're not going to forget, we're going to save that. Throw that in our late broth at a later date. Now we're just going to cut it. I'm going to cut it kind of just straight down, just like that. Going to come back. Oop, my rice. We have an oops here. I went to turn my rice down because it came up to a boil, and then what I do is I turn it all the way down to low and let it finish cooking, and I turned it the wrong way and I turned it off. Well, we got it back on and it's on low, and now it's good to go. Let's go back to getting these shallots. Now that my shallots are ready, we're going to come over to the stove and we're going to light that frying pan. All right, let's get this stove on. We're looking for a medium high, which is about right there. And we're going to get that pan nice and hot. Let's give those shallots a little stir in between. They don't need but maybe a minute or two more. But we're gonna get that little coating for our chicken ready. Right, I have that 1/4 cup of flour, and we're just gonna put it in a shallow bowl. We're gonna put some pepper in there. Probably not quite a 1/2 teaspoon, I guess. And about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I do use kosher salt all the time, I just prefer it. And we need a whole tablespoon, which I will measure, of the tarragon. All right. We're gonna give that a little mix. And we're gonna coat our chicken. Just lightly coat it. Just make sure it's all covered. And then shake off the excess. All right, and then just set that off to the side. Get your next piece. Get it nice and coated. But don't overdo it. That's why we're only using a 1/4 of a cup for all 4 pieces of chicken. You're not making a big old thick batter. You just want to coat it lightly. Okay. Set that to the side. All right, now our shallots are ready, or nearly ready. Now we're gonna add those mushrooms. All right, we're gonna get this open. And we're gonna get it drained. I don't need that liquid. Okay, now we're gonna drop those mushrooms in there. And we're gonna get that other can. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna drain it and drop it. Well, we're just gonna give that a stir. And since these mushrooms are already, cooked, all we're doing right now is we're just basically warming them up and giving them that little extra shalloty flavor. And then we're gonna take them out of the pan and put them in a bowl and get ready to put our chicken in the pan. Okay. Now that most of the liquid that I had in there that came out with that can is just about gone, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. And I'm going to add just a little bit of pepper. And we're going to add a little more tarragon. This time we're just going to kind of shake it. So 1/4, 1/2 teaspoon. Going to give that a good little stir. Make sure it's all incorporated. And then we're going to take it out and put it in a bowl so we can get ready for our chicken. Okay, now we're going to get this up. Get our shallots and mushrooms into a separate bowl. Here we go. Okay, using that same flame, we're going to put the pan back on there. We're going to add another couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Now we're going to let that oil get hot, which shouldn't take but just a few seconds because the pan was already hot. And we're going to add that chicken. Okay, now it's time to add that chicken. Hear that sizzle? That's what you're looking for. You want to make sure it's sizzling before you put it in there. Otherwise, it'll probably stick. And you do need a good 10, 12-inch pan to do 4 pieces of chicken this size. Okay, we've been on this side for about 5 minutes. So it's time to flip. What we want to do is try to cook it evenly. And even after I cut it, I still got like big side, little side. But I'm trying. Now we're going to let it set another 5 minutes and brown that other side. Okay, my rice is done, and we really like buttered rice, no matter what we're putting on it. So I've just put me a big spoon of butter in there and mixed it around. And I'm just going to put that lid back on there to keep it hot. Okay, it's been 5 minutes on this side, and I'm going to cut that fat side of the thickest piece of chicken. And it's not pink anymore, so we're going to pull it off the stove and set it aside. Now we're just going to set that aside. Okay, and I'm going to take about 1.5 cups of chicken broth and pour it right in that pan so we can get up all those little brown bits. Okay, now we're just going to stir and pull those brown bits and everything up off the bottom of that pan. Didn't take very long at all since that pan is well seasoned. Right now we're going to put just a little more tarragon in there. You got to season as you go. You should use, like, between all the add-ins, you probably use a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons of tarragon. Now if you have fresh tarragon, that would be good too, but I don't. So give that a good little stir. And we're going to add our mushrooms and shallots back in. And we're going to let that simmer for just a few minutes. Let those heat back up. Okay, and we're going to reduce that liquid just a little bit. Maybe, let maybe 1/4 cup cook out. And then we're going to put our chicken back. Okay, my sauce is reduced at least 1/4, and I'd like for it to reduce just a little bit more. That intensifies the flavor. And we're just going to lay that chicken right on top. Make sure it's hot when we go to have dinner. I'm not really cooking it, it's already done. I'm just laying it up there to make sure that it's nice and hot for dinner. Let's get some buttered rice. Nice fluffy rice. And get some of that sauce. Like that. Can't get any better than that. Taste test time. Here we go.
Yep, here we go. No, it's not here we go. It's here we come.
Here we come.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. This is absolutely one of my favorites. I love Tammy's grilled chicken, and I love the mushrooms, onions on buttered rice. And so I am here. Oh, wow. That's so tender. I'm pulling it off with the fork before I get the knife through it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Enough sauce?
I'm gonna get it. I'm just admiring it. It actually looks pretty good on the fork. Mmm. Guys, this really is good. You're gonna love it. I could sit here and brag about it all I want to, but until you eat it yourself,
Right, right.
you ain't gonna have any clue. But guess what? It's right there. Come and get it. We'll see y'all later.
Bye, y'all. See you in the next video.